I'm going to teach you two little words that function relatively similarly to English, but a little bit differently as well. So they are how to say go and come in Chinese. And I want to point out quickly that the words go and come are directional words, but they are specifically relative to the speaker. So they're subjective to the speaker. So if go means to move away from whoever's speaking, and lai means to come toward whoever's speaking. And so that's important to make sense of there's a lot of phrases in Chinese, directional phrases that use these two little words in combo with other directional words, and understanding that qu and lai, come and go, are relative to the speaker is important to learn some of those other phrases and have it make sense to you in your head. So a basic phrase for using these words, qu means to go, lai means to come. They're very common. You'll hear them all the time, and so get used to them. Qu and lai. So it's subject plus one of those words, a direction word, and place. So you'll notice that there is no to, like go to or come to. In Chinese, there's just one verb that kind of includes that idea of going towards something or coming towards something. Okay, so 他去北京, he goes or is going or went to Beijing. 他去北京. Very simple. 我去山上. 我去山上. I'm going to the top of the mountain, or to the top of a mountain, depending on context. 我去山上. Okay, and then that's and lai would function exactly like that, depending on the context. 他来北京. If a speaker is in Beijing, he would say 他来北京, meaning he is coming to Beijing. Here's another phrase. This has a date in it, so a little review here. 我3月12日来的. 我3月, so that's March. 12. Oh, I forgot the little pinyin for 日 right there. Excuse me. 我3月12日来的. I came on March 12th. So the little duh there is something you'll learn about in a few videos. Why that duh is there. I won't take time to explain it now. All right, and so also then down here I want to explain that, just like in English, the words go and come, 去来, can be used before verbs to express intention. So let's look at this. 我想去吃饭. I want to go to eat. So here's the verb 吃饭, eat. 去 means go eat or go to eat. I want to go to eat. So it shows a direction, but also like an intention, a purpose. I want to go do what? Go eat. We have this in English just as well, like we have words like go to do something, go and do something, come to do something, come and do something. He will come and give me a piece of his mind. That idea. So we do it very similarly in English. Here's an example using 来. Oh, you can say 他要来吃饭. He wants to come eat. Just like this, like 我想去吃饭. 他想来吃饭. He wants to come eat. But there's also 来 when it's used before a verb like this. In many cases, not always, sometimes it's a simple direction thing, but in many cases it actually isn't talking about direction. It's used to express, like, to emphasize who is going to do it. And so let me give you an example of that. Let's say we're in a group setting and it's time to sing songs. Chinese people love KTV, karaoke. And so one person asks, 谁要唱歌? 谁要唱歌? Who wants to sing a song? Who wants to sing a song? And someone raises their hand and says, 我来唱. I come to sing. Now the come does not mean anything like the person is moving in a direction. It just means like, hey, I'm the person to come do it. And another very, very common example is if you have two people at a restaurant and they're both eating together, then one person starts to reach for their wallet and the other person puts their hand on that person's hand and stops it and says, 我来吧. 我来吧. It means I will pay. It has nothing to do with moving in a direction. It's just saying I'm the person who will pay. 我来, I'm going to come and do it. So that's a very common use of lai, a little different from, you can't directly translate that in the same way. But it has, grammatically, it functions the same way. It goes right before the verb, and it has, and it's like an extension of the idea of come and go. How do you make a polite request in Chinese? I'm going to teach you how to say please, essentially. It's qǐng, qǐng, or qǐng ni. You can say it either way in a sentence, qǐng or qǐng ni. So how do you use it? It goes before a verb like this, qǐng zuo. Zuo means to sit. So if someone comes in your room and you're the host, you can say qǐng zuo, please sit. It's a polite way to say, you please sit down. 我请你来我家吃饭，请你来我家吃饭。Please 来我家, come to my home. So this is the come to my home to do what? 吃饭。请你来我家吃饭 to eat. Notice 我家 means my home, but there's no the there. So there's no the because it's a very close relationship between me and my home, and so we can omit the the. 请你来我家吃饭. Please come to my home to eat. Right, here's a negative example. If you want to say please don't do something, it's a little bit different. You use the phrase 不要, which means don't. So it's please don't do something. 请你不要说英文. Please 不要, please don't say, don't speak English, 英文. 请你不要说英文. And so that's how you say it in a negative form. I want to make a couple comments about this phrase, qǐng or qǐng ni, that will help you as you're learning to use it. It is a nice translation for the word please, but there are some exceptions. There are some nuances that you should know about. First, you cannot say this word qǐng or qǐng ni as a standalone phrase. Like in English, you can say please, please, please do this for me. In Chinese, you cannot say qǐng, qǐng, qǐng. It doesn't work that way. It has to go as part of a fuller phrase, like 请做, like please do something, not a standalone phrase. So also, it's not, you don't really use it with people who are your superiors. It can sound bossy to say like, please do this, please do that. And actually, it's kind of, I think you could say that about the English word please too. There's times where it doesn't really work to say please, or maybe the tone of voice would really influence the way it comes across, but it doesn't sound nice to say to like, please do this, please do that. To superiors, it's more about people who are friends or younger than you. I say it to my kids, actually, please do something. It's a nice way to say it, and it's fine in that context. And also, I wanted to point out there's a phrase, 请问, which means, 问 means to ask. So 请问, when it's used actually not to say, please would you ask something for me, but rather it's an introduction to you asking someone a question. So if I stop someone on the street and I say, hey, may I ask you, where is the store? That may I ask you, that can be caught in this phrase, 请问. So it's kind of like, please let me ask, as opposed to please ask. This is also relatively formal. This is, I think you see it more in textbooks than in real life. But here we go. And then one more other thing I wanted to say about qǐng is that, and now I'm not remembering it. What is it? And I don't think it's, this phrase probably is not used quite as much as in Chinese as the word please is in English. And just like in English, there are many other ways to make a polite request other than the word please. That's one way, but you can say, could you, or would you be able to, or may I trouble you to do something? So just like that, in Chinese, there are actually many other ways, and probably more common ways, than using the word qǐng. But it's a good start, because it's helpful to know how to translate please. I want to take a minute to comment about the word jiào, which is one of the first words you will learn in Chinese as you study, because it's how you talk about someone's name. So one of the first questions you might learn is 你叫什么名字? 你叫什么名字? You called what name? And the reason I want to make a comment about this is it just is different from English. And first of all, in English we say, what is your name? But you can also say that in Chinese, 你的名字是什么? Your name is what? But that's not the most common way to ask. Usually it's 你叫什么名字? So it means it's an interesting verb in that it can be active and kind of passive. So it can mean to call, as in to call out, like 叫. But it can also mean, as you'll see it most, is to be called. So you are called what name? I am called Eldon. 我叫 Eldon. Also, it can be used to talk about how to call anything. And so it's much broader than just names of people. It can be the name of anything. So it's a very useful phrase. If you are out on the street or if you're in a classroom and you're pointing to an object, you can ask, what is that called? And the person will respond what it is. And so it's a super helpful phrase to know. It's 这个叫什么? 这个 this 叫这个叫什么? This is called what? And the answer, if you're looking at an apple, the answer would be 苹果, apple. So I just wanted to make a comment about this verb because it just functions differently from anything we say in English. And it's just interesting in that it can be an active verb, action, like to call or call out, or to be called in the sense of what is something's name or how do you refer to it.